Story 4: Double Shift, Double Bond. The morning of April 3rd came with the same stiffness in my joints, but this time I wasn't alone. I had already texted Daniel the night before, and he'd replied with a quick "Sip, aku budal," along with a thumbs up emoji and a photo of his freshly ironed black pants. That alone told me he was taking this seriously. I arrived at Ayam Bakar Prima Rasa just before 10. The street outside was already buzzing with food delivery guys on motorbikes and family beginning their post-holiday lunch outings. The sun was beating down harder than usual, a humid, sticky heat that clung to my neck. I wiped the sweat from my brow and waited near the kitchen entrance, hoping Daniel won't get caught in another unlucky road incident like he did on April 1st. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, I saw his bike pulled up. He parked a bit awkwardly, hopping off like someone who had sprinted the last 500 meters of a marathon. "Bro!" he called out, wiping his forehead with the edge of his sleeve. "Almost didn't make it again because the road to get here was very confusing." "You really have a bad luck with punctually," I teased. "You need to learn Google Map more seriously, ha 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 ha," I replied. We laughed, then entered through the back and were greeted with a familiar face. Mas Fahmi gave us both a nod, and Dian, already in motion with a tray of juice glasses, muttered, "Selamat datang," mid-step. Even the kitchen smelled welcoming today. Maybe it was just mix of burnt soy sauce and freshly fried shallots, or maybe it was just the comforting of returning to a place that didn't make us feel like expendable labor. Before the shift officially started, we were handed our trays and briefed by Mbak Atika. "Hari ini target kita full table, jam makan siang dan malam. Tapi kayaknya customer kita udah mulai balik kerja juga. Jadi jangan heran kalau dapet tamu yang ngebut makannya, terus ngeluh lama," she said with a worried smile. Daniel raised an eyebrow. "Sounds like a challenge." "It always is," I said, patting him on the back. "Let's show them what the Grand Royal Refugees can do." The lunch shift kicked off in waves. There were quiet gaps followed by loud floods of customers. Office workers came in with their badges still around their necks, talking about the unfinished deadlines while ordering iced tea and extra sambal. One man accidentally spilled chili sauce on his white shirt, and Daniel rushed to get tissues, while I tried to keep a toddler from knocking over a chair. But through all the chaos, we found our rhythm. We weren't just waiter anymore, we were a team. At one point, I noticed Daniel cracking jokes with a group of moms at table 6, making them laugh until one of them jokingly asked if he was single. "Iya bu, tapi dompet saya juga single," he quipped. Even the cooks chuckled from behind the kitchen window. When lunch wound down, we were given a proper break. This time with full plates of ayam bakar kecap, udang tepung crispy, es teh, and but me. We sat in the VIP room again, old AC blows lazily above our heads. This time, it wasn't just lunch, it was a small celebration of survival. This place is so different, Daniel said between bites. I mean, compared to Grand Royal? Way different, I agreed. Feels like they actually sees us here. He nodded, and the food's legit good, not some recycled leftover from the buffet line. We rested a while longer than usual, stretching out and even scrolling through our phones for a bit before heading back in. The dinner crowd started earlier than expected. By 5:30 p.m., the place was already three-fourths full. Families were ordering dinner before heading back to their hometowns, and the kitchen was firing non-stop. The sound of metal spatulas hitting the grill mixed with the scent of seared chicken skin created a strangely comforting noise. But with the pressure came small hiccups. A customer claimed her iced tea was too sweet. A kid threw up on his mom's lap. One of the new kitchen staff dropped a tray of raw chicken, causing a brief delay in orders. But one, but none of it faced us. We moved like clockwork, like two gears that had already been tested under fire. Back closing, when the chairs were stacked and the floor were mopped, the kitchen crew gathered in the back and started portioning out dinner leftovers. This time, it wasn't scraps, it cuttered, thoughtful, a piece of each dish, neatly packed. One of the older staff members handed us each a plastic bag and said, "Kerja bagus ya, bro. Semoga rezekinya lancar terus." Daniel peeked inside and looked at me. We are getting spoiled. I'm not complaining, I said with a grin. After clocking out and receiving the neatly packed dinner portions, most of the staff didn't rush to leave. Instead, a few of them lingered around the prep table in the back kitchen, casually chatting, sipping warm tea from reused plastic cups. The night had been long, but no one looked entirely drained. There was a gentle satisfaction hanging in the air, like we had just completed something that mattered even if it wasn't glamorous. Daniel and I sat on overturned buckets near the sink, slowly chewing on fried tempeh pieces from our bags. The oil still glistened, and the spice clung to our fingers. It wasn't a proper meal setting, but it felt strangely comforting, maybe because this was the kind of quiet that felt earned. You know, Daniel said, licking chili oil from his thumb. I used to think working during it was just sad, like we missed out or something. I nodded, not looking at him. Yeah, I used to think that too. But this, he gestured around, this feels real. Like, I don't know, this is where life actually happens. I smiled, finishing the last of my rice. It's not in the pictures we post, it's in the small moments. Sweaty backs, sambal burns, and shared jokes with strangers. We both laughed softly, and Diane, who was nearby taking clean trays, turned her head and grinned. Kalian berdua kayak dua warteg aja, ngobrolnya bijak banget malam-malam begini. Namanya juga anak muda, Mbak, Daniel replied, dramatically. Bijaknya darurat. Another round of laughter erupted. Even Mas Fahmi chuckled as he poured hot tea into a reused Tupperware container. It felt like we weren't just extras brought in for a holiday rush. For once, we belonged. Later, someone turned on the small Bluetooth speaker near the back fridge, and all Dewa 19 songs filled the space. That 2000s nostalgia somehow matched the mood perfectly. Mbak Atika started humming along while she wiped down the rice cookers. There was no pressure to leave. No one rushed to change out of their uniforms. It was like time had slowed down in this warm restaurant, letting everyone breathe. I watched the others for a moment, how easily they shared laughter, how they moved around each other like family. There was no hierarchy here, just a shared exhaustion and quiet appreciation. And it hit me, this is what a healthy workspace looks like. It's not just about a decent paycheck or fair meals. It's about respect. It's about feeling seen. Daniel must have been thinking the same thing because he nudged my shoulder and whispered, "Aku gak nyangka ya, kerja di tempat begini malah bikin pengen balik terus. Kalau aku punya restoran nanti, aku pengen suasananya kayak gini," I said without hesitation. He smirked. "Aku ikut kerja deh, asal ayamnya jangan kosong." We both snored. I leaned back using the wall. I leaned back using the wall for support and sighed contentedly. "You think we'll remember this day 10 years from now?" "I hope so," he said quietly, "even if just for how it made us feel." Eventually, we all began wrapping up. Aprons were peeled off, floors were checked on last time, and someone shouted, "Gas, matiin semua lampu." One by one, the kitchen lights clicked off, and the buzzing fluorescent glow gave way to soft yellow hue from the emergency exit lamp. Daniel and I walked out. As we exited the back door, we found the night air had cooled considerably. The breeze touched the backs of our necks like a blazing. Motorbikes hummed to life one by one, taillights flashing in red arcs against the dark alley. Before we part ways, Dani, Before we part ways, Dian called out to us. "Besok kalau kesini lagi, jangan lupa bawa tawa ya. Seru soalnya kalau rame." "Siap, Mbak," we both replied in unison. As we pulled away on our motorcycles, side by side, for a few blocks before taking different turns, I felt something stir inside me, a quiet joy, the kind that doesn't jump out in photos or earns likes. The kind that seeps in gently, steam rising off a plate of freshly grilled ayam bakar. We didn't spend our youth in leisure, but we spent in growing, learning, bonding, and somehow, through burnt rice, slippery kitchen tiles, and clumsy drink spills, we found something more lasting than holiday photos, a story of our own. And honestly, that felt like a blessing in itself.